Welcome back to Goliath. My name is Chris Gamble, and today we're going to be going over how to visualize a fleet view for your IoT deployment and how to customize it. Because a lot of tools that are out there, you might be able to go and see all the devices that are in there in your fleet. You know, as you build out 1, 10, 100, 1,000 devices. But I'm not as sure about how to customize all that stuff with some of those off-the-shelf tools, and I thought I'd want to make my own, right? So I already made some visualizations. Today we're going to be using the IoT trash can monitor, which we talked about in past videos. I'll have links in the blog post that's associated with this video as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that visualization and we're going to basically replicate it many, many times over to see all the stuff that's in our fleet. So first things first, let's go and look at what this looked like in the past, right? So I may have had this full screen. This is in Grafana, and so that's what we're going to be going through here today, which is Grafana. And this probably was the view here. It was like the full view like this. And this is actually one of the devices that I have on my desk right now. And in fact, I have 6 devices on my desk right now. So that's pretty great. I can go and show you these. So I have all of these devices. I can show them like this too, I guess. I have 6 different devices. Some are plugged in, so some are off to the side here. But we have a range of different devices. All are turned on. All are transmitting every 30 seconds as well. And so you see that we have different temperature data, weather data, stuff like that on the right side here. And we also have the main thing that we're trying to do with this IoT trash can monitor, which is tell how far the trash is from the top of the trash can and then assign it some kind of value and should we go and see this. Well, that's great, but if you are the operator of this fleet, you probably don't care as much about the individual one. You want to see it actually all at all levels, right? You want to see every device that's out there. So let's go and look at that real quick. All right, so this is a different view of this. And so now we took that same device and the same data here, and basically we stretched it across here. And so let's just get straight to the good stuff here. What does it look like when we have a full fleet view? There's a new menu we're going to show you here, and we're going to say look at all devices. And I'm going to click off of here. It goes and regenerates for every single device that's out there. And now this is truly the fleet view that you'd want to have. You want to have a way to visualize every single device that's out there and see what it's doing. What you'll notice here is that that it does update every 30 seconds. We can make this even faster, but actually because I have my devices triggering every 30 seconds, it doesn't make sense to have it more than triggering every 30 seconds on the visualization here. So what did it take to multiply times the 6 devices I have here and potentially all of the devices I might have if I do have 100 or 1,000 or whatever? The key to all of this, the key unlock for all of this view here is actually in the variable setting on Grafana. So let's take a look at that. All right, so first thing I'm going to look at is, this is the setting, sorry, let me go back real quick. This is the setting for the specific board I'm looking at here. So this is this dashboard setting. There's also settings for the entire organization. I want to leave that stuff alone right now. So I'm going to go on the dashboard setting here. I'm going to go to variables, and I created a variable name. And so basically what this is doing, this is using our REST API. So basically there's a JSON data set source that's pointed at the Goliath REST API. When we did that, then what we do is we go and we actually do a get from the /devices path. So for those who aren't as familiar or comfortable with a REST API, this is basically, we have this endpoint that you can access from anywhere on the internet. And what we're doing is we're basically saying, give me all the device data, all the data about the devices in this project, right? So that's the /devices. And there will be a link down to the REST API documentation and how to use it. We have a bunch of other stuff about Grafana as well. Once you get into it, it's not too scary. You know, I didn't have a lot of experience there. I had some coworkers who helped me with this stuff. Very, very helpful. I'm hoping to transfer that knowledge to you as well here. Basically, you're saying, give me the device information here. It's going to come back as JSON, and then we're gonna basically parse that out using some of these other features you'll see here. So we do a get on the devices path. Then what we do is we grab the name path. So basically, in Grafana, if you do the $, ... and then you have a unique field that is name, you'll just go and grab that name, and then we also want the ID. So what I'm going to do here is let's wipe this out, and we can just look at what this data looks like by itself. And so this is what one of the return data things comes back as. You see we have ID, and this is a JSON format here. basically this is the device's unique ID. We also have my hardware ID, which in this case is the SIM card number. And then we have the device name. So those are the two things we care about, ID and name. So again, if I go back here and I give this, this one's name and this one is ID, now basically we're creating a lookup that says we want to pull the nice looking name here, which is the trash can POC A1, A2. Those are the names that I created in the device console. You see those names here as well. And then it's going to pull that back along with unique IDs. And now we have a variable called device that we can use just about everywhere throughout Grafana. Okay, that part's great. Another thing we need to do though is we also need to select this multi-value. That allows us to have a pull down that allows us to have more than one device in our fleet view. Okay, so that's basically what you need to do in order to get set up with the start of your fleet view here and have a variable. So now this variable is going to be very, very important when we go back and start creating different views here. Now I'm going to go back to just having one device on the screen here. Each of these is a different visualization element that we've created very similar to over here. The difference is that now we have the variable pulled in, the device variable pulled in to this visualization. And so if we go here, like we had in the past, we do a post to the REST API to get the stream data. So we have /devices, again, that same path. Now we put the variable in here. So when I have this trash can POC selected, it's passing the ID variable, which is the unique ID on the Goliath Cloud, into the path here, which just looks like a URL basically. And then we're saying give us all the stream data. Because it's a post, you also need to have a body in here. And this is in our past post as well, which I'll have linked. And basically it's saying, here's the configuration I send to the REST API, and then it sends back a bunch of data that we can then go and pull in here. And it looks like this basically. It gives us a temperature and it gives us a time, and that's what we're actually mapping here. In Grafana, we're basically using the stat visualization here. And actually, because we have multiple data points, it'll actually have a kind of a quasi chart underneath and the actual latest value here as well. Again, this is all in past blog posts you can see on our site. If you have any questions, you can always go over to our forum as well. And then finally, this is the other key thing. So we say repeat options. We want to repeat by variable. There's only one variable that we actually have here, which is we want to repeat by device. So every new device that we have in this list, if we have 6 devices selected, it's going to create 6 instances of this little box here. I then go and do the same thing for all of these readings here. So I did it for pressure, that has its own reading. I have humidity, distance, and then these are special ones that we created that have basically a graphic that gets pulled based on the data that's getting passed back from each device. Each device not only sends back its distance, but it also says, hey, actually this distance represents being 100% full, and then we can map that to a visualization here. The net result though is that we can then, so all of these individual boxes, we can then go, when we turn this to all again, it replicates each of these boxes and goes and does a data pull for each box. If we looked underneath the hood, we would see that for this 22.2 degrees C, it's going and querying the trash can A2 unique ID and that temperature reading there. And that allows us to pull this data back into this dashboard and get this fleet level view. Just as a quick review, we also do have a fleet level view in Goliath, right? So we can actually look at all the devices that are in a project. The data source that feeds both this detailed level view for an individual device and this fleet level view is all using the REST API key that I generated on this project. So I have IoT trash can monitor project. I have 6 devices in here. I have API keys that I generated with that, and that's actually how I initially created that data source. Again, there is resources on the Goliath blog on how to go and get that set up, or you can go and ask questions in this forum post or generally on the Goliath forums at forum.goliath.io. Each individual device here is sending back data every 30 seconds. If we want to visualize that, we can go to monitor, LightDB stream. We can go and refresh this every, let's say, 5 seconds. And what we could see is that there has been data coming back from almost every device. Looks like A1 is offline right now. I'm not sure why. But I use this often to go and then troubleshoot. I could actually go and see that trash can A1 has actually not been not been transmitting recently. You see that another data point just came back through. Each of these is, it has device data through here. This is what I was talking about. Basically, it has distance. There's some onboard processing that makes it say that this is the 0% full of the trash can. That's actually settable through the Goliath settings. And then finally, on the IMU, basically, we can say whether we're tipped or not. All of that gets visualized on the right side here as well. All of these are all tipped because when they're face up, they're tipped, basically. That's kind of a when this is really supposed to be face down, right? And when it's in a trash can. So when they're looking nice on the desk here, they're not as good for being for the data that we're trying to show here. So this is what you can do to go and customize your own fleet. This is something that I think would be really useful. Say you're an independent hardware person, you're trying to build up a fleet level view for a customer, you're trying to create a view for your end customer that maybe is in an operations style role. They probably want to see this sort of thing. They don't really care about each and every device. If there's something wrong with each and every device, then they want to go in and see the detailed view there. But really what they want to do is they want to look at a big board like this. They want to see all greens all the way down the board, right? You think about, you maybe want to set up some alarms. That's its own video into itself. But when you go and walk up to a system, you want to see everything's green, everything's, there's no alarms blaring, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's the kind of thing you can do with a fleet level view here. You can obviously make this a much richer experience. You could add in other charts. There's really limitless possibilities using tools like Grafana. That's the one that we use. There's other tools out there as well. But it's really important to have this fleet level view so that you can go and showcase your data to your customers, to your boss, or to your investors. So if you have any other questions about fleet level views, using Grafana, using Goliath, we'd love to talk to you about them. You can always contact us at the link below. You can check us out on our forum, and there's lots more blogs about Grafana and how to get your IoT deployment off the ground, including the hardware, which is my favorite part. So check that out at blog.goliath.io. We'll see you soon.